Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the chemistry class. My dear students, as you know, we had finished first term successfully. Now we are starting second term from today. My dear students, let me tell you the syllabus for the second term. Kindly note it down. The syllabus for second term, there are two chapters, chapter 3, separation techniques, and chapter 4, matter. And exam pattern is same as first term. There will be a unit test and then final exams. So unit test will be held in the month of November and it includes chapter 4 matter. And in final exams that will be held in the month of February, there will be two chapters, chapter 3 and chapter 4. So my dear students, let us start chapter 4 matter. Kindly open your books at page number 54 and keep a pencil with you so that you can underline some important sentences or words. My dear students, let us start reading chapter 4 matter. Now you see a number of things around you when you are in school, at home, on the road, wherever you are. You see a number of things around you, and these are made up of materials. So some materials are found in nature and these are known as naturally occurring materials. And the other materials you see around you, there are so many things like cup, mugs, books, table, chair, vehicles, and so many things. These are not found in nature, but these are made by man. So these are known as man-made materials. So there are two types of materials, naturally occurring materials and man-made materials. Now if we talk about naturally occurring materials, there are some materials that we get from nature but we use as it is, but other materials we cannot use as it is, like milk and fruits you can use the same way you get from the nature, but iron, sugar cane, firewood you cannot use in the same way as you get it from the environment. So this is the type of materials around us. Now let us begin our main topic, that is matter. Now what is matter? Now as we know that all things are made up of materials. And what are these materials made up of? Materials are made up of matter. And there is a simple example given here that matter is anything that can be perceived by your senses. As you know, there are 5 sense organs: eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. And the materials that you can perceive with this, you can feel with these sense organs are called matter. So, what is the definition of matter? Anything which occupies space and has mass. And I have added one more sentence that it can be sensed. So it occupies a space and has some mass and which can be sensed. So that is called matter. Now my dear student, there is one law of conservation of matter. So what does this law states? That total amount of matter in the universe remains constant. So matter is neither created nor destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. My dear student, if you take the example of a plant grows from a seed, right? Now when the seed germinates, plant grows, and what happens? It takes all the nutrients from the nature. And when it dies, it returns all the nutrients back to the nature. So the materials remain the same. Same is all with the other matter. So this is law of conservation of mass. Now my dear students, let us do properties of matter, which is on page number 55. Matter has mass. and occupies space. These are the two basic properties of matter. Now we discuss these two properties one by one. First is mass. Now what is mass? The mass of the object is the quantity of matter. The definition is given in third paragraph. Mass is the quantity of matter in an object. Right? So mass of the, now we come back to the first para, the beginning. The mass of the object is always the same, regardless of where the object is. An object would have the same mass on the moon or on Jupiter as it has on the earth. So mass is the quantity of matter. To simplify it, I tell you, my dear students, if you take 1 kg of sugar in a bag, right? So the sugar, the amount of sugar in that bag is 1 kg. If you take that sugar to any place, it will remain 1 kg. The mass will not change, right? So we often get confused with two terms, mass and weight. Mass and weight, these are not same things, but these are different. Now weight is the measure of Earth's pull of gravity on an object, and whereas mass, it is the amount of matter. Then let us do this difference table between mass and weight. Mass. Mass is the measure of quantity of matter, whereas weight is the force with which Earth attracts everything towards its center. Mass is measured with the help of a beam balance. Beam balance you must have seen when you go to buy some vegetables. They have a kind of balance, takdi, tula, taraju, that is known as beam balance. Whereas weight is measured with the help of spring balance. It is a different instrument to measure weight. The mass is measured in kilograms. If you go to buy some sugar, you ask in kilograms or grams. Whereas weight, it is measured in Newton because it is a force. So force is measured in Newton, and it is the gravitational force of the earth, so it is in Newtons. Mass is always constant and it does not change from place to place, but weight of a body changes from place to place. If your weight on earth is, say, 10 Newton, then your weight will change on moon or on Jupiter, right? So on moon it will be, if it is 60 Newton here, on moon it will be 1/6 part, so it will remain 10 newtons there only. It doesn't mean that if your mass is 60 kg here, mass will be 60 kg on the moon. So mass is constant everywhere, but weight keeps on changing. My dear students, to demonstrate that matter has mass, let us do one activity. To show that air we consider as a matter, to show that air is a mass. As you see in the diagram, we take two balloons, fill one with air and let the other remain empty. Tie these two balloons to the two ends of the scale as you see in the diagram. Try to balance the flat surface on the scale on an edge from the middle. We observe that the scale tilts towards the side that has balloon filled with the air having more mass. Thus, this shows that air has mass. जिस साइड में बैलून फूला हुआ होगा, आपकी स्केल उस तरफ को झुक जाएगी. क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ इसमें हवा भरी हुई है और हवा का भार होता है. Because air has mass. So this is proved by this activity. Now, my dear students, the second property of matter is volume. What is volume? The space occupied by an object is called volume. If you keep your pencil box on the table, it occupies some space because it is matter. And how much space it occupies, if you have to find out, what you will do? You will measure its length, you will measure its breadth, and you will measure its thickness. And you multiply all these three values and you will get the volume. So volume is the space occupied by an object. So by doing this activity, we'll be able to say that matter occupies space. Now, my dear students, see this activity, what it is. Take a glass tumbler and place it in a bowl. Pour water gently in the tumbler so that it is completely filled. Fill the glass up to the rim of. Then, now take a stone tied with a string and immerse it into the glass tumbler. What will happen? You see, when the stone goes in water, some of the water, it spills, removed from the tumbler, and that water get collected in the bowl. Now remove the stone and pour that water back into the glass, so glass will be again filled. Now, why this water spilled from the glass? Because glass was fully filled, there was no space to put something else. But when we immerse the stone, now stone also has some volume, it occupies some space. So to occupy that space, it removes some of water from that space and takes its place. So this activity shows that matter occupies space. So my dear students, kindly read pages 54, 55 and 56, and there are activities given on each page. 55, 56 and 57. Do these activities and answer the questions asked in the think zone. It is related to the mass, and there is a think zone on page number 55. Answer these questions and kindly read the chapter. Thank you and have a nice day.